To TV47 Sports Extravaganza. My name is Dan Kamtua. Today we are going to talk matters football. Chelsea versus Sunderland will be live on your favorite TV station, that is TV47. Sunderland versus Chelsea here, TV47. Kickoff at 5 p.m. Welcome again. And before Sunderland and Chelsea game, we are going to be discussing matters Deaflympics that is set to take place in Tokyo 2025. Tokyo 2025 from next month. And I'm not alone in the discussion to do with matters Deaflympics. I'm going to talk with the CEO of Team Kenya, Duncan Kuria. Wengi wanakujua kama Sugar Ray. Uko aje?
Uko poa?
Unajua tunaongea lakini hatujaipatana.
Leo ndo naweza ona sura. Because sijui sura, najua jina.
Wasema wakuuliza unaenda kuona nani ukasema Duncan. Unaitwa nani Duncan?
Wameona nikaa sijui kitu nafanya.
Karibu lakini, ndio.
Asante sana.
Shughuli fiti ambayo mnapiga. And then we have Bernard Banja, who is the chef de mission. Karibu.
Thank you so much.
Tukianza tu na preparation, acha nianze na Banja. Preparations zimekuaje?
Thank you so much. During the Deaflympics, you see, we already announced to every athlete that to be ready, because the International Committee of Sports for the Deaf is the world body that is mandated to regulate sports. So they were announcing the Deaflympics that is supposed to take place in Tokyo, Japan. That is just next month. So ordinarily what we do, we usually conduct national championships. So the national championships that we conducted here locally, we had football, basketball, all the different teams around, like over 8 disciplines. We already did the national selections. After selection of players, then they became the Deaflympic Team Kenya. That is the team that is supposed to fly. So once the team has been selected, the next phase was now, before the flight to Japan, they had to go to the camp for more training just a month before. So we had 12 sporting disciplines, but because of budgetary constraints, we decided to minimize the teams to 5. So the 5 teams are in the camp. They are working so hard for the Deaflympics. So the 7 were left out, but we have teams that are still in the camp.
I'll go with Kuria now. In terms of selection, 5 teams from 12 to 5. Which criteria do you guys use to come up with the 5 teams?
The criteria we used mainly was to consider a team that has international experience, and in this case we referred to a team that has competed at that level. You know, Olympics is the highest level in the world.
Yeah.
So the team you take to this championship has to be experienced, you know, competing against the best in the world. And so we consider teams that have competed at the Deaflympics. We also consider teams that have competed at the World Championship level. So, you know, once you have a team that has that experience of competing with the best in the world, then you can gauge how competitive a team can be. Unfortunately, we do not have many of our teams participating in the Africa Championship because none was held. And then also during the period, you know, from the last time they had the Deaflympics, the Kenya Federation for the Deaf, KFSD, they were banned because there are some fines that they had not paid.
Yeah.
So they could not compete in most of those championships that were held thereafter. And therefore we had a big challenge of teams that, you know, they don't have local leagues, and they form a team, and, you know, like, you can't say it's very competitive because they're not doing any league, they're not doing any championships. So it was very difficult for us to gauge how they can be able to compete at the highest level, because you see now, like, if you in a normal world, you look at you throw somebody at the deep end of a swimming pool and they don't know how to swim, they're definitely going to struggle. So taking a team that has not even competed outside Kenya to the Olympics, it's a big task. But nevertheless, we saw there were some teams we thought probably they could be given a chance, and I would like to thank Banja and his committee, because they are the ones that negotiated for those teams to be included in the Deaflympic schedule based on their say on, like, they are going to be competitive. But for sure, you can't gauge how competitive these teams can be because they have not competed in any international championship or tournament to be able to gauge. So that is mainly the kind of the criteria that we had. And then also we looked at the performance. The more we presented our case, the more we are told, like this number is still high.
Yes.
Then you still you need to narrow down. So we look at also for the teams that competed at the Deaflympic level, how did they fare? What were the results? Now, one of the teams that was unfortunate to be kicked out was football. And when you look at the results for the football last time they went out, we scored 1 goal and conceded 43. That's a high number in 4 matches. So
you guys eliminated them depending on what they registered in the last editions?
No, we look at that because now you have, you have your ranking, because now I'm trying to compare. We had 4 team sports. Yeah. That is handball, volleyball, basketball, and football. Now, when you look at last time round, we had handball in the Deaflympics, basketball, and football. So within those 3, now we need to get remove one team sport. And now when you look at you analyze performance of the 3 teams, football had the less favorable results in their last outing at the Deaflympics. So that is the criteria that you are using to now decide when you are told the money is not enough, you need to reduce this number. Now, we reduce this team first because based on their performance at that level, they were not as competitive compared to the others. But all the same, we wanted to take them because we thought it was a good idea to have this inclusivity. We have these teams going out there, engaging and competing against the best in the world, so they can gauge themselves even for the first time. But unfortunately, because the resources are not enough, we could not be able to do that, and we had to do that tough job of dropping some of the teams. And now we are left with only 5, and we are hoping the 5 are going to do the country proud when we go for the Deaflympics in Tokyo next month.
Maybe for Bernard, if we can mention the 5 teams that we know football ain't going because last edition they registered some.
Okay, we have these 5 disciplines: athletics, men and women, and we also have handball, the men's team, basketball, women alone, and also have the golf, both men and women, and also have the swimming team, men and women. So those are the 5 respective disciplines that are going to participate in the next month's Deaflympics. So all along they have had good performances. The swimming team has been recording good performance. They participated in the World Championship. Yeah. And we hope when they are going to the Deaflympics, they're going to perform. And the rest that are remaining will participate next time.
So far, have you come up with the total number of athletes who will be going to the Olympics?
Yes, of course. With the team that is in camp, of course, you have to ensure that they also get sparring partners or people who can help them in doing the preparation. So in the camp, we are about 100. We should be around 185. But at the moment, Kasarani is not able to accommodate all of us. Unfortunately, it was because we had Harambee Starlets camping at the facility, and we are hoping they were moving out of the rooms today. So
now you'll be having all the facility from
now
Tuesday.
We'll be getting more rooms from today actually, not from Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So we are hoping we get the rooms today so that we increase the number, because at the moment we had about 106 accommodated in Kasarani, and we had another 35 accommodated at a hotel in Nairobi West. And that's the team that went to Nairobi West, mainly the handball team, because they use Nyayo Stadium for their practice. And when Nyayo Stadium is not available, they go to Kaloleni. So we thought it would be much easier for them to operate from that area to facilitate ease access to their training venue.
And to Bernard, if you can just talk about the last edition, the medals that Kenya bagged, and what we are doing different to make sure we are going to add more medals to when we'll be jetting back.
Thank you for the question. Historically looking back, for instance, in the year 2022, the Deaflympics in Caxias do Sul, Brazil, the performance was impressive. We clinched 24 medals, 5 gold medals, 7 silver medals, and 12 bronze medals, collectively totaling up to 24 medals. plus in Africa, Kenya was position number 1. And then globally, we were position 12. So that means our performance was impressive. We are hoping that this year, our medal tally is going to increase. The athletes, we have new talent, and I do believe that the handball team is going to perform impressively well, because in the year 2022, they could have been number 3. But you see, they saw that Africans looking down at us because of our color, oppression, discrimination. We were ruled unjustly, but I believe we're going to get more medals.
Okay, we were forced to reduce the number of teams from 12 to 5. Were there any negotiation with maybe the ministry or something?
Yes, because one thing we need to acknowledge is that the funding for this team is entirely from the government. And so, even when you are saying that we have budgetary constraints, it is the government that's telling us they don't have adequate resources to finance a big team. So, it is the government that guided us, telling us that they don't have resources to facilitate a big group, so we needed to reduce the numbers. And it was very difficult for us until we got to a point where we are telling them now we can't go any further down, And you see now also we had a challenge, because once you have committed that you're going to perform, for instance, when you are dealing with team sports, you commit that you're going to take a team, fixtures had already been prepared, and because now you're withdrawing, again, we have to pay some fines for withdrawing. But when you look at the big picture, it is much easier maybe to pay that fine because the government is saying that it doesn't have resources to take the team there. So they are ready to pay that fine than take a big team, which they can't afford. So we had to do that tough job, and we tried the best we could until we go to a limit where they said now it's okay with that. And still, even with that, I know it's going to be a challenge, because I could hear when I'm dealing with the director and the PS, I know there are challenges to do with resources. And therefore, I'm having a tough job also to convince the athletes and the team officials that they have to bear with the situation, so that we prepare the best we could, so that we go and better the performance that we had last time in Brazil. But I'm very hopeful, like Chief Demichon has said, that this time around we are working towards increasing the medal tally. And if we can perform, like we had our colleagues who went to Tokyo also and performed very well in the World Athletics Championship. If we can better that performance, I believe it will be wonderful, and we are setting that as our target. We get a better haul of medals, and especially the first category where we had 5. If we can get 8 or 10, that would be great, and I believe it's very possible. The guys are training and they look very eager to go and perform. Something very interesting with this team, the deaf community, is that when they go to camp for a longer period, their proficiency in terms of performance increases tremendously. So I believe now that they are in camp, they are likely to post, if it's athletics, they are posting better times because they are training on a regular basis. Sometimes for some of the teams you see now, like because they don't have local leagues, it's very difficult for them to be competitive throughout the year. But I like what the handball teams do, because for the handball team, they compete with the hearing in the local league, which makes them to be very competitive. And I believe when you go for the Deaflympics, they are going to be among the top performers at that championship.
All right, this is TV47 Sports Extravaganza. We're discussing matters to do with Tokyo 2025 Deaflympics. Deaflympics set to take place in November, come next month. That is, come next month, 2025. And tukiendelea tukuongea na pia tukiendelea tuku have the discussion. There's always that hype with the Olympics. You can look at the last editions of Olympics that took place in August. But then when it comes to special, let's say, Deaflympics,
Paralympic, yeah.
Kuna kitu imenyamaza. I don't know. Let me start with Bernard. Why is it there's a silence when it comes to Deaflympics, and there's a lot of hype when it comes to Olympics?
The problem we have, maybe we can say we want to blame the society or what. You see the deaf community is hidden. You see, like in the year 2022, we performed very well in Brazil. Yes. We brought up 24 medals. But now the problem, when we jetted back to the country, we came like Jesus Christ. Like we are told, Jesus will come, nobody will know. So you see, in the hearing or other Olympics, they got 11 medals. When they went, people were there all over. You know, some maybe might feel that we, with our disability, might not have any value. But what we want to showcase is that the deaf and the hearing can perform well. And you can see our medal tally was even higher. So we were better. So the people have to treat us with a lot of fairness, which never happened. So also the mainstream media, I know you'll have a lot of ululations when it comes to other sports for the other people, but when it comes to the deaf, there needs to be that focus as well in coverage.
All right, I would also want to hear on your side where we are not having that hype now that the competition is here, a few days to go, but then kuna mtu ajui what is happening, kuna mtu ajui there's something happening in Tokyo come next month.
Yeah, probably, yeah, you are very right. Kuna uwezekano kuna watu wengi ambao hawana habari kuna Olympic ya watu ambao wasikii. Na pengine hii ni fursa mzuri sana kwa watu kupata kujua ya kwamba kuna michezo ya Olimpiki ya watu ambao hawasikii. Kwa Kiswahili kizuri unasema ni viziwi. So kuna michezo ambayo itakuwa inafanyika katika mji wa Tokyo kuanzia tarehe 15 mwezi wa 11 mwaka huu, na tunatumai ya kwamba timu ya Kenya ikifika pale itafanya mambo. Matumaini ya timu yako juu kwa sababu moral kwenye kambi ya mazoezi iko juu sana, na ijapokuwa kumekuwa na hizo changamoto za kuweza kupunguza size ya kikosi, watu wanajituma, na wale ambao wameweza kuchaguliwa wanajivunia kwamba wamepata nafasi ya kuwakilisha Kenya, na kila mtu ako tayari kwenda kuinua bendera ya nchi na kuipeperusha kabisa. So matumaini yetu ni kwamba tunaporudi kutoka mashindano haya ya Olimpiki, tunatumai ya kwamba tutakuwa tumeinua bendera juu na watapata fursa. Kwa mfano kama vile Chief Demission amesema, walipoenda huko wakirudi hakuna mtu anakuja kwa receive kwa airport, lakini wakiperform vizuri, mimi naamini ya kwamba medali ambazo wataweza kushinda zitafanya watu waje kuwa receive pale airport kuwapokea, na hata zinajua zina uwezo wa kuwafanya wapate mwaliko katika ikulu kupelekea rais bendera wakati watakapokuwa narudi. Kwa hivyo naamini ya kwamba kikosi tulichonacho kiko imara na kiko tayari kwenda kuwakilisha nchi vilivyo.
Natumai pia nitaona kwenye ikulu mashindano yakikamilika, ndio. Pia tuweze kuona pia rais akifanya sign language hapa. Rais anawatuza. Rais
atafanya mambo.
Athletes
Rais anafanya mambo kwanza mwaka huu. Rais amefanya mambo. Kwanza leo nimemwona amereceive jazi ya Arsenal.
Ilikuwa jana jioni mchana hivi.
Rais anafanya mambo. Premier League iko pale, imefika pale ikulu. Kwa hivyo kimichezo naamini ya kwamba rais amejituma sana. Yeah. Unaona kuna uwanja wa Talanta ambao unaundwa na ni uwanja wa kisasa, na pia nadhani ni investment kubwa sana ambayo rais ameweza kuweka katika michezo, na tunapongeza rais pamoja na wale na waziri Mvuria pamoja na PS bwana Elijah Mwangi, kwa sababu wamefanya kazi kubwa sana kuona ya kwamba wanazidi kuimarisha hali ya michezo hapa nchini, hasa kwa kuwekeza katika miundo msingi ya michezo, viwanja, sehemu mbalimbali wameweza kuzikuza, na kwa sasa tunaamini ya kwamba kipindi hiki kikiisha cha uongozi, basi tutakuwa tuko na infrastructure nzuri ama miundo msingi mzuri sana ya michezo ambayo iko katika maeneo yote. Na unaona kila pale, kwa mfano wakati wanafanya sherehe za kitaifa wanaunda stadium, kwa sababu juzi wamekuwa Kitui, kuna stadium ambao haikuweko, lakini kwa sasa Kitui wako na stadium. So nadhani wizara imefanya kazi ya ziada kuona ya kwamba hali ya michezo kwa siku zijazo itakuwa katika hali bora sana.
Na natumai pia tutaona zile cases ambazo tuliweza kuona kwenye Para Championship, World Championship, wameenda kule lakini bado they're still crying.
Sasa tatizo na hao ilikuwa ni kwamba walipoenda kule India,
nyinyi mmejipangaje especially wakisha tutaona mambo kama hayo?
Unajua siri ni kushinda. Wakati unashinda, kila mtu anataka kujihusisha na mtu ambaye anashinda.
Okay.
Sasa shida wale wenzetu hawakupata nishani yote ya dhahabu.
Yeah.
na sasa kuna yule najua alipata nishani ya fedha, lakini sasa hii ni nishani ya fedha kwa hapa Kenya haipewi uzito sana. Watu unajua hali ya michezo hapa nchini Kenya ni kwamba wakati unapoenda katika mashindano ya kimataifa unatarajia ya kwamba utapata ushindi, na ushindi ni kupata nishani ya dhahabu. Kwa hivyo naamini ya kwamba kikosi ambacho na kiongoza cha Deaflympics kitajituma na kuona ya kwamba tunaporudi tutakuwa na dhahabu kadhaa ambazo zitatuwezesha kuwa na hali tofauti na wale wenzetu ambao waliwakilisha.
Let's now talk about the corporate world. You guys, what are you doing to make sure the corporate, the sport, or rather this Deaflympic competition, you guys are preparing? What are you doing to make sure the corporate world is getting attracted to be part of you or to be associated with you guys? Bernard.
Asante sana. Nikianza nimeongelea mambo ya michezo yetu, watu wengi hawatambui michezo yetu. Tuko na kamati inayoitwa ICSD ya kimataifa ambayo inashughulikia masuala ya michezo. Sasa sisi kuna michezo ya Paralympics, unajua tuna Special Olympics na pia tuko na Deaflympics. Zote ni tofauti na zote zimejisimamia kikamilifu. Kwa sababu mara nyingi watu wengi wanaamini ya kwamba sisi ambao wana uwezo wa kusikia tuko ndani ya Paralympics, lakini la hasha. Ukiangalia ICSD linatambua Deaflympics kivyake, kiko kivyake, na pia kuna mashirika mbalimbali ambao wamejaribu kujiunga na sisi. Tumeandika kandarasi, pendekezo nyingi tukitaka usaidizi, na wengine watasema nyinyi ambao mnaweza kusikia mnaweza kucheza katika michezo, mnaweza kuwa katika michezo kushiriki. Lakini sisi mara nyingi mara kwa mara tumetegemea serikali watusaidie tunapoenda katika mashindano. Mara nyingi serikali imetushughulikia 100%, na tumepitia shirika mbalimbali tukiwaambia sisi pia tuna uwezo. Lakini unajua serikali haiwezi fanya jukumu hili peke yake. Lazima tuzungumze na watu mbalimbali kuhakikisha kwamba wanajiunga na sisi, watupatie ufadhili, jinsi yote vile, nguo, chochote kile wanaweza tupatia. Manake hatuwezi tegemea serikali sana kwa sababu wanatusaidia, lakini wakati ambapo tuko nyumbani hapa tunapanga ratiba yetu mashinani, lazima tuwe na shirika ambazo zinatusaidia kwa sababu tuko na county 47. Lazima tuwe na bajeti ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunafanya kusaidia wenzetu ambao wanashiriki katika michezo ili tujipange katika michuano, kwa sababu mara nyingi unapata wengi wetu wanatumia fedha kivyao, wana pesa, unapata uwanja kiko vizuri, mambo ni mengi. Kwa hivyo hapa ni tunasema kwamba tunahitaji pesa ama fedha ili tuweze kujisaidia hata kama ni kidogo, kwa sababu tuimarishe michezo ya watu ambao wana uwezo kusikia ili tuwe na usawa sisi wote. Tunahitaji usawa katika spoti, kwa sababu sisi kama saa hizi tunazungumzia mashirika, tunasema pia jinsi ambavyo mna dhamini hao wengine, pia sisi pia tunaomba msaada kwa jinsi ya usawa.
Shukran. Sababu ya muda pia ligi kuu ya soka kule Uingereza, the English Premier League itakuwa inafanyika. Kuna mechi itakuwa inachezwa, Chelsea versus Sunderland, live on your favorite TV station TV47. But then again we are discussing matters to do with the 2025 Tokyo Deaflympics, where Team Kenya Kenya will be participating in Brazil, in Tokyo 2025 from 15th of next month. Let's talk about the traveling plan na pia logistics.
The travel plan is that we plan to end our camp on 10th.
Yeah.
So that the first delegation will be leaving on 10th. So far, the logistics of booking the tickets is happening, and when we get our idea is that because the opening ceremony is to happen on 15th, and we want the entire delegation to be in Tokyo before 15th. So from 10th to 14th is when we expect to be leaving the country for the games. I'll be expecting a smaller team of about 3 officials. I think includes my colleague here, Mr. Banja, to try to do advanced travel, so that around 7th or 8th there, they will travel to go and prepare the situation where the team will be staying when they get to Tokyo. So those logistics are being done through the Department of Sports, and we are sure that in the next, actually it's about 2 weeks from now, the logistic will be complete and we'll be taking our athletes to Tokyo. And in terms of the support from the government, we appreciate all the support that the government has given this team, because they have really worked hard, and it's a kind of sport that only happens once in 4 years. So you find for like a very long duration, a period of about 4 years,
yes,
before another one comes, they'll not be, most of them don't travel to do some international championships. But I'm hoping now that the government paid for the fines that they had with the ICSD, so now they are good. So we are hoping that a lot of the federations in the deaf community are going to be taking advantage of the situation to apply to the ministry to support them to take teams to the World Championship, so that come the next Deaflympics, we are going to have teams that are very competitive. And when it comes to now selecting a team to represent us during the 26th Deaflympic Games, I believe we are going to have higher number of teams representing Kenya, and we are going to exercise good inclusivity, so that even the sports which, quote unquote, you'll call smaller sports, they get a chance to go and test themselves against the best of the best, because Deaflympic is where the best deaf athletes compete, and they take pride in winning those medals at that level. So I'm hoping that our preparation will be wonderful, and when it comes to competition, we are going to post impressive results that will make this country proud.
All right, before we wrap up, Bernard, I want you now to address the corporate world. I want you to call upon everyone who can support you guys to come and support you.
Okay, first and foremost, I want to extend my gratitude to the Kenyan government for supporting our sports all along, fully supporting us 100% since inception. That is the reason why you have seen the deaf competing and striving to continue competing up to now. And as the Federation President, yes, all the companies, corporate worlds, I just want to invite them to join us on board. Let us work together. Supporting us is easy. The most imperative thing is that, see, after the Deaflympics, we will come back. We have a 4-year time frame. So within that 4-year period, we can do very many sporting activities from the grassroots levels. We can organize teams that can participate in the World Championships. Let us take an opportunity to support us, because it is significant that we are on the home ground locally. We can fight and ensure that our sports thrive, because the deaf have smaller needs. We need a referee, just what are the normal things that other people need. I know all along we have had challenges because the corporate world might, for instance, like Safaricom, they have been supporting athletes, you know, before the late Bob Collymore passed on, they used to support us. Some others have been coming one-off and then disappearing, but we are hoping for partnership with those companies or entities just to ensure that we have a long time period of support for the deaf teams. Because right now we have the Deaflympics only remaining 2 weeks. We are ready, are passionate, and we are also encouraging them to come and join us so that they can support our dreams as we perform and get many medals. Thank you.
Bwana CEO, tufungie na ukifunga pia address mashabiki na kila mtu ambaye anataka kufuatilia timu Kenya.
Mimi yangu ni kuomba wananchi watoke kwa maombi wakati tunapoenda katika mashindano. Tuko katika hali ya maandalizi kwa sasa, watuombee tusiweze kupata majeruhi wakati tunajiandaa, na pia watuombee wakati tunapoenda katika mashindano tuwe katika hali shwari ya kuweza kuwakilisha Kenya vilivyo. Na naahidi wananchi ya kwamba timu ambayo tutaenda kuwakilisha Kenya katika mashindano ya Deaflympics ya mwaka huu itakuwa ni timu yenye ushindani, itatoa ushindani mkali sana kwa wenzetu ambao tutakuwa tunashindana nao, na ningependa pia kuhakikishia Wakenya kwamba tutaleta nishani hapa nyumbani. Na kama watu wanajua ni kwamba Deaflympics ambazo zimepita tuliweza kupata nishani, ndio ilikuwa bora zaidi kwa kuleta nishani, kwa sababu tulileta medali 24. Kwa hivyo matumaini yetu ni kwamba tutaweza kupata nishani zaidi ya zile ambazo tulipata katika Deaflympics ambayo imepita, ilikuwa Brazil, na wakitoka kwa maombi yao naamini ya kwamba tutakuwa katika hali shwari, so na waendelee kufuatilia matokeo na pia kama kwa sababu kutakuwa na hizi links za kuweza kutazama, wakatazama na pia wakashangilia wachezaji wetu ambao watakuwa wanawakilisha nchi, kwa sababu naamini ya kwamba hawa wachezaji ambao tuko nao huwa mimi sisemi ni walemavu. Ni vile tu wao ni wale minority kwa utumizi wa lugha, sababu hawawezi kusikia.
Maumbile tofauti.
Ni kusikia tu ndio hawawezi kusikia, lakini mambo yote wanafanya kama sisi. Ikija kama ni kwa michezo wanashindana kama sisi, na ushindani huko ni wa hali ya juu. Saa ingine ukiona wakifanya mambo yao, unaona ni tofauti sana na sisi ambao tunasikia vile tulivyo, lakini naamini ya kwamba ni kama wenzetu wale ambao wanasikia, na ukiona kama idadi ya medali ambao wanashinda, saa ingine hata wanashinda wale ambao tunasikia. Kwa hivyo ni timu ambayo inastahili kupewa mashabiki waweze kuwa support, na pia serikali izidi kuwa support, na natumai ya kwamba wakipata support ambayo inahitajika watazidi kunawiri katika michezo.
All right, thank you so much. That is Team Kenya CEO Duncan Kuria, and then Chief Demission, who is Bernard Baja, giving us an in-depth information on what we are expecting 2025 Deaflympics competition, the championship set to take place from 15th in Tokyo, Brazil. Don't go, because we are going to take a short break, but once we come back, we're going to come back to Narudi na mengi. We are going to discuss matters English Premier League. We are going to give you a pre-match analysis. Chelsea versus Sunderland here, TV 47 live from 5 p.m. Don't go, because in the next 1 minute then tutarudi hapa to discuss matters with English football.